it's like the coolest networking event ever. Like most people hate to network, right? Now imagine like that's so it's kind of like imagine a split screen where regular networking is in black and white on the left-hand side, right? And then the after is like full technicolor, right? Like Dorothy in the Wizard of Oz when she opens the door and steps through. And that's a Putty tribe. Like the coolest networking you've ever done. You can go up and talk to anyone and be fully comfortable as though you've known them your whole life. And you know, they'll be kind, they'll be warm, they'll be welcoming, they'll be helpful, and interesting. Like I've met some of the most interesting, creative, brilliant people. And sometimes I'm like, whoa, you do all of this stuff? Like you do, I don't know, like you do acting and you do engineering and you do knitting and I'm like, that is so cool. And I'm like, wait, I do kind of a lot of random stuff too. That must mean I'm cool too. So that's constantly happening, this kaleidoscopic sort of experience where you're just like, this is like the coolest place. And I think sometimes I felt almost overwhelmed in a good way with just all the possibilities there. There's this sort of really beautiful, pervasive sense of relief and joy that I notice a lot of people have, like, oh my goodness, there's an entire world for me, right? Like that's the sense that I get from others. And it's very, that's unique because it is that's what the Putty tribe is. Like that's, for me, that's what the spirit of the Putty tribe is. That's the essence of the Putty tribe, is that sense of, there's a place for me. Like there's a world for me of people who are just like me, have all of these cool things they're working on. They get all of the challenges that I've faced. Can you imagine what would be the best possible outcome for you from joining? You know, imagine that you meet just 5 other people like you. What would happen if you met 10 other people like you? What would happen if you met 20 other people like you? You know, what if you had access to creating friendships, connections, networks with people like this constantly, pretty much 24/7, because it's a global community? What's the best possible outcome you can imagine from that? Because so many things have happened that I never would have imagined. So your expectations right now, or what you think you'll get out of it, may just be the starting point. Because I never, moving into the world of sharing and supporting people and coaching was something that was always sort of down the line. And then I get into the Putty tribe and suddenly it's just happening. And I never imagined, I didn't plan that. I didn't imagine that. It just happened. And that's the sort of thing that happens in the Putty tribe. It's sort of like beyond your plans or beyond your logical thinking. So kind of like how the world wants to say, focus and move in a straight line. Because you're a multi-potentialite, interacting with other multi-potentialites, many of whom are nonlinear. And because we have all these interests, it's natural that when you enter this community, you have no idea the awesomeness is going to rain down on you. That's basically what I want to say. Or you literally have no idea what's going to happen. And I'm not saying that because I know what's going to happen to you. I'm just saying because I don't know what's going to happen and you don't know what's going to happen. It's literally an adventure.